pregame starts now with Jason LaCanfora.
I love field goals here. Their offense is broken, and you can correlate it field goal attempts. Like, all they do is kick field goals.
And Kate Constable.
I just think so highly of Kevin O'Connell and what he's able to do with quarterbacks. But Kevin O'Connell has kind of shown us that he can take any quarterback and help them find success.
3 hours, every game, every edge. Your Sunday betting HQ is live. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
Good morning. Welcome into BetMGM Game Day. What a day in the NFL we had yesterday. We are going to recap it all. An absolute classic between the Bears and Packers last night. And then even before that, I mean, the Rams and Panthers game went down to the end. We were spoiled with the first two wild card games, but we have three more today. And we're going to break that all down over the next 3 hours here on Westwood One Sports. Jason LaCanfora, Kate Constable here with you. Jason, I mean, we were going to start the show talking about some of the coaching changes we've had this past week, where we think people are going to land, but we can't do that. We can absolutely not do that after the game that we saw last night. So we have to start today with the Bears and Packers. Bears are down big at halftime, and all of a sudden, the second half, the game script completely flips. I mean, the Bears looked awful in the first half. The play calling was questionable. And then the second half, all of a sudden, the Bears defense comes alive and things are questionable on the Green Bay side. What did you make of yesterday's game?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, look, macro level takeaways. The Bears magic carpet ride continues. Improbable things continue to happen in their football games, late in their football games, that go tremendously to their benefit. Now, I'm not trying to pretend that they have a passive role in this. They are helping to create those breaks, but they are getting the breaks. They're on a magic carpet ride, and it's going to take some doing to probably end their season. Like, they are the little engine that could. There's a lot of internal, obviously, belief about what they can do when the odds are against them. So it just continues. Caleb Williams, can we as all the, are we done worrying about painting his fingernails and all that now? Are we done? Are we done? Our draftniks, wannabe scouts, and fanboys, are we done? He does things athletically. He does things with his arm. He does things with his brain. He does things with his legs on a football field that very few people can do. And if he doesn't make those game-extending plays, we don't get here because of him. Not Ben Johnson. That's a nice hire and everything. Him. He, look at him and look at every quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears. It's different.
He's beat the Packers more times than Jay Cutler, Mitch Trubisky. There was one other quarterback for the Bears, all combined. But my husband was at the game last night, Jason. I FaceTimed him after, and I legit asked him. I said, "You want to go get your nails done this week? I will take you to the nail salon. Like, let's go get our nails done." So yeah, we got to put that to rest. But I mean, that throw, 4th and 10 late, and he throws it off of no feet, like he's in the air. It was basically the Jumpman logo. That was incredible stuff from Caleb Williams.
And again, I'm going to let you in a little secret. Ben Johnson didn't script that play that way. Ben Johnson had no idea what was going to happen after his routes weren't open. And after 4 Mississippi, we're on the quarterback's world. Like, now, there's not some Bobo holding him back anymore. Like, it's not a bunch of dudes over their skis on the coaching staff who, like, literally will stunt his talent, will play political games within the building. About, like, all that madness is over. Like, Ben Johnson was a great hire. Like, I'm taking nothing away from him. The quarterback won the game, and LaFleur lost the game. Like, that's my takeaway. So, like, 20,000 feet, good on the Bears. Like, tough out in the fourth quarter. Also, if LaFleur was fired by the end of this show, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, when the hire was made, I thought it was fishy. I thought that it looked like an inside job. how you could make the case in real time that he was a better coach than Caldwell or some of these other options. He went on an MVP ride with Aaron Rodgers, but then those teams would find a way to lose in the playoffs. The transition to Jordan Love was great. The coach in Green Bay is not making those picks. That's front office move. The front office got Rodgers out of the building and got that toxicity out. They set this team up to win. I don't know about this guy coaching in the playoffs. And for me, with Harbaugh out there, it's over. Like, I'm back channeling before that game with Harbaugh's agent, who is Brian Harlan. Brian Harlan is the brother of Kevin Harlan, Westwood One announcer, legendary play-by-play guy. Their dad, Bob Harlan, was an executive with the Green Bay Packers for a generation. Like, it'd be real if ever it was easy to know, hey, if we mess this up in Chicago ahead of time, and Harbaugh, I'm not taking any interviews the first week, I'm going to sit back. Like, I'm just saying, if they know what they're doing and they know what they're doing, they would have a pretty good idea of all things being equal in a silo, how a Harbaugh would rank these jobs. Where would our job be in conjunction to Atlanta, to the Giants, to Miami, Cleveland maybe, if it was open? They should have had the answers to that test, Kate, before that game was played, because there are a lot of executives, high-ranking executives for other teams who thought LaFleur would maybe coaching for his job even before Harbaugh got fired. So the way they mismanaged that situation, Josh Jacobs never got the ball put in his gut twice in a row the entire second half.
Which is crazy after the season that he's had.
And just with the way the first half went, and let's bring an extra offensive lineman in and let's kill the clock. Let's start wearing them down. They
played not to lose in the second half, and essentially that's what lost them the game. Like, you can't do that in a playoff game against a team like the Bears, who have shown over and over and over again this season that they aren't going to quit. They're going to play the full game and fight to the end. And you take your foot off the gas a little bit. I mean, that offense went totally stagnant. But to your point yeah, go ahead.
Kate, the crazy move, now Jacobs is returning kicks. And the ball's recovered, but that would have been it right there. Like, why are we
right?
No. Jacobs is the guy who should have been your closer, dum-dum. Put the ball in his gut and let him. The fact that he had 14 carries at halftime and they're up 21-3 and he's got 19 in the game. Come on now.
Yeah.
There's a reason he got to 14 carries in the first half. It was effective. Now, you can't just run dive, but get under center, run Jacobs and hit play action shots off of that. It's not that hard. It would have at least helped. But then you've got him. Then that fumble, if it's not recovered, that's everybody. That's all we're talking about, because the Bears score right there, and Green Bay's probably lose by I don't know, 2 scores.
Right.
If Harbaugh wasn't out there, but they would look at Harbaugh and be like, that's a Packers coach, man. That this team can't get over the top. And we could say he couldn't get over the top with Lamar. He got over the top with Flacco. He's going to, and if you think you need to upgrade your staff in a couple places, and you might, you think you're going to lose your D coordinator already as a head coaching job, and if LaFleur goes, there's your offensive coordinator. John Harbaugh and Todd Monken there. I think that's probably better than let's give LaFleur an extension because he's got 1 year left on his deal. Let's start paying him like Harbaugh, and let's go find him a D coordinator. Let's go find him a new special teams coach. I don't know. Are you having conversations should he be looking at his play sheet and managing the game at the same time? We're not so sure he can do that when it really matters. Well, if he can't do that, why don't you go get a CEO type manager, Harbaugh, and let your coordinators run the game?
Right. I mean, Harbaugh knows what he's doing, too, with all of these interviews. He had 7 teams call him in the first, or call his agent in the first 45 minutes after the Ravens fired him, and he hasn't taken a single interview yet. He's very calculated in this and knows what he's doing. We'll get to some of these other coaches being fired and news and maybe where they could go. But, Jason, real quick, let's hit on this Panthers-Rams game. The Panthers, They were double-digit underdogs going into that game. Rams pull it out at the end, 34-31, but it was not comfortable whatsoever. You needed a fourth quarter last-minute drive from Matthew Stafford, the touchdown from Colby Parkinson for the go-ahead, and the Rams sneak out of there with the win. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to the Panthers just for how they were, I'm not going to say dominating, but they were in control of that game for a lot of it. Stafford with the hand injury, I don't know how serious that is and how much that played a role in it. But I mean, I would be a little nervous if I were a Rams fan. Just that performance they put out yesterday was not all that inspiring.
They haven't been the same operation since the ridiculous 2-point conversion play in Seattle. They just haven't. It was odd. He was getting Stafford no medical attention. They weren't wrapping anything. They weren't even looking at it. And it could be one of those things where sometimes with a digit, there's literally nothing they could do. But I find it hard to think that he went from looking like a guy who was going to carve them up relentlessly to a guy who couldn't complete a pass for a quarter of the game. Just randomly, or just because now the Panthers are in his head, or their coordinator's calling a great game. I don't know about that. It was not a tour de force performance from the Rams whatsoever. That's a game that they could have blown before, and they didn't. They came back and won it. So, that's the ultimate goal. But yeah, they've left me wanting, as someone who backs them, someone who thinks they still thought going into the playoffs. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I've got tickets on them going to the Super Bowl. I didn't love that. And we got to find out more about the finger here and what's going on with Stafford, if anything. Adams didn't look great. Now, can he another week of rest and rehab? Will that help him? They did not look explosive to me on offense. And Puka was just being force-fed. And a lot of them were errant and could have been picked off. And as they talked about on the broadcast, they couldn't win on the outside. So, do they go with a little bit of a different approach next week, depending on the matchup? It looks like, I think they're going to end up having a rematch with Seattle. They went, remember, against Seattle, it was a lot of, even with Higbee being out at that time, it was a lot of 12 personnel. And the Joker, really 13 personnel, because Puka was running a lot of tight end routes as the Joker tight end. So that's how you attack McDonald's defense. The speed might not matter as much. They put up 9 million yards on McDonald without Adams. So be interesting. But no, not overly impressive for them. Offense, defense, and their special teams remain a big concern. The kicker never quite looks like he thinks it's going in. You got a block that you gave up. Their special teams are a problem.
So the Rams, depending on what happens today with the Eagles and Niners game, if the Eagles win, they'll play the Bears in the divisional round, and then the Rams will go up and play Seattle. But we do have to wait until that game is played this afternoon to figure out exactly what the next round looks like. And we will break down that game here coming up on BetMGM Game Day. Real quick to finish off this segment, Jason, and then we'll dive into games. Let's go back to some of those coaching moves. We talked about Harbaugh. Mike McDaniel, he was an interesting one just because it came later in like the firing cycle. You have Black Monday where coaches are gone. He was fired late in the week. I think for Mike McDaniel, the best case scenario for him, or maybe best case scenario if you want to be a head coach is you go be a head coach, but why would he not go be an offensive coordinator for the Lions or somewhere where he's not having to, it feels like going to Cleveland or Tennessee right now is kind of like a death sentence. I'm not sure Mike McDaniel's turning around the Cleveland Browns. I think he would have more success being an OC for a team that has some unbelievable offensive weapons, and he can just focus solely on that portion.
Yeah, my hunch is Mike McDaniel doesn't get a head coaching job, period. So that's, he could take his money for a year. Then. You know what I mean? I don't think it's happening. Maybe Tennessee, it's considered by the people I talk to the worst job. But yeah, I think coordinator is more his speed.
Other coaches fired. Stefanski, we kind of knew that one was coming. Where any landing place you see him going next?
Yes, I think he to me looks like what the New York Giants think a coach looks like. I don't know that that's where Harbaugh's landing. Um, I I would be shocked if Stefanski doesn't get one of these jobs. If he doesn't, it's because the one or two he gets offered, he just doesn't think he can win there, and he's sick of working for a bad owner, and so he'll sit it out a year and know that he'll still be in play a year from now. Look, I think he's someone Baltimore should talk to. Like, he wouldn't be my going for it all hire, but you could do worse than Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski can coach in the NFL. Like, I think he's a good NFL coach. And what do we have? 8 hires? 5 or 6 of these are going to be a disaster. That's just the history of the league, And it might be that the only ones that work are Harbaugh, because you know what he is, Stefanski, and then of the other, let's say 5 or 6 hires, maybe one of them is really a difference maker, and one of them's a good coach, and the rest of them will have, we'll be one, and we'll get one bite at this apple, and that's it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, what's Jonathan Gannon going to do, or what has he showed us as a head coach that makes you think he can turn an organization around? Raheem Morris, same thing. And I mean, I don't even know if Pete Carroll gets another shot at his age. Like, who's going to give him a long-term contract to?
Young Pete Carroll just got basically neutered in Washington. Dan Quinn is Pete Carroll 15 years younger. It's the same every day is the greatest day in the world. It's the same unbridled college rah-rah baloney. It's the same cover three scheme that is getting exposed in this league left and right. That's out of vogue, because it can't work unless you have the Legion of Doom and 3 if you have 7 Pro Bowl players on your defense, you can run all that cover 3 and cover 1 and be fine. He don't have it, and he never will have it again. If they're smart, what I would do if I was advising the Commanders is go ahead and fire your head coach now. Right? You already fired the coordinators. You go sell out. You're getting a new building, new stadium. Your owner is supposed to be as rich as any of these guys. You go get John Harbaugh. You go get Todd Monken to work with Jaden Daniels, right? You go get that staff. Denard Wilson to run the defense, who's from PG County, where your stadium is, who played football at the University of Maryland. Zach Orr is the linebackers coach. That that's what I would do. I would go to the GM, Adam Peters, and say, yeah, you had your shot with a puppet, with Quinn. That was fun. It's over. I'm going to go get my guy, and he's going to report to me, and he might have final say over you. But will they do that? I mean, they should. They just blew out the coaching staff. Why not fire the head coach too?
Okay, so this is another scenario that I've wondered about, and if this Green Bay job does come open, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What happens if the Bills lose today and they fire McDermott? Which is more appetizing to Harbaugh, Green Bay or Buffalo?
I don't know. They'd both be great. Going to the NFC, he's a Midwest guy. He grew up in Ohio. I'm sure he listened to Packers games growing up. He's born of an era where Lombardi is an American hero. I think a lot of that stuff would very much deeply resonate with him. And I'm just telling you, his agent, you can't tell me that the Green Bay thing wouldn't be how's he grew up, his dad was Bob Harlan.
Yeah. Yeah. All kind of fits together. We'll see what happens. Matt LaFleur, still the head coach of the Green Bay Packers as of now. We are not at all reporting that he's been fired, but just watching closely to see if any action does come through the pipeline later this morning. All right, it is time to dive into some of these games today. Bills at Jacksonville. We will start off with that one coming up next. Kate Constable, Jason Lockenfora. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports. sports conversation rolls on with BetMGM Game Day right here on Westwood One Sports.
3 receivers left, 2 right. Love gets the shotgun snap. He dropped it. Back to pass. Love in trouble. Spins out to his left. No time on the clock. Moving right. Steps up. Love looking. Still looking. He's going to throw it up to the end zone. Intercepted. No, it's dropped. It doesn't matter. The game is over. It's all over. The Chicago Bears, for the first time since 2010, have won a playoff game. The drought is over in the Windy City. Bears 31, Packers 27, and the Bears will host the divisional round next week.
That call coming from Westwood One. Ryan Radke, Mike Golick Sr. on the call yesterday. An incredible win at Soldier Field for the Chicago Bears, coming back after being down 25 points in the fourth quarter. Just an incredible win for Chicago. The city was absolutely on fire last night. Not literally, but the energy was there and will continue being there going forward. The Bears will find out who they play later this afternoon, whether that be the Eagles if they beat the 49ers. And so far, the Eagles, they are favored in that game. So that's what the market is telling you, that it should be the Eagles. But, I mean, as we know, with that Bears game last night, we got to see how things play out on the field before we can officially move the Eagles along. Jason, 3 games today. Bills and Jags is the first one we're going to start with. And I think this one is so interesting. I mean, we have quite a few coin flip games here in the postseason. Last night's game, once again, Bears-Packers, that was essentially a coin flip. Packers were favored by 1.5. This time, the Bills, they're favored by 1 going into Jacksonville. And I'm looking on the screen here at BetMGM. It looks like that line has flipped now, and Jacksonville is favored by 1.5. So some money coming in on the Jags. Yeah. And I mean, for good reason, because Jacksonville's been great over the last half of the season. 8-0 straight up and against the spread in their last 8 games. They don't have a single loss since week 11. Trevor Lawrence has been on fire. 19 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, only 5 interceptions in that stretch. I mean, I was a little shocked that it took this long for the market to flip and Jacksonville to be the favorite based on how the Jags have been playing lately and having home field advantage.
Yeah, I like to act swiftly in a lot of cases, and I'm in the NFL regular season, except for week 18. I'm working a week ahead, and I'm waiting for, I'm making bets on a Saturday for, if it's a Saturday going into week 14, I've already made probably 2 or 3 bets for week 15. Now, in the playoffs, you don't know the matchups, right? So they announce these matchups. We get the lines at basically halftime of the Sunday night game last week. There were a series of bets I made that night that all happened to be on today's games. And I parlayed Jags money line, Pats money line. I'm sorry, Jags money line, Chargers money line. I also took Jags plus 3.5, Chargers plus 3.5, and I jumped the under 46.5 in the Eagles game. And I thought that number in that Eagles game is going to end up definitely south of 44. And I wonder, depending on weather, if it starts sniffing 42.5. I thought that the Jags would be the favorite. I honestly thought by Friday or Saturday that would flip. And the other one I wasn't so sure, but I just like that matchup for the Chargers. And so where am I on this game? I think the Jaguars are the better football team for a lot of reasons. And they might have the better quarterback in this game right now, in this moment, for this assignment, right? This is Josh Allen with not the best roster he's ever had on the road in the playoffs. This is not Josh Allen in October against the bottom 5 defense at home on Monday Night Football, right? This isn't Josh Allen against the Jets and some Bobo like Salah or whatever. Like, that's not this. And if you really run the numbers on Josh Allen against playoff defenses the last 2 years, including last year when he won the MVP, it's not so special. It's not so special. Josh Allen's 5-8 against the spread in his playoff career. Josh Allen has never covered a playoff game on the road, 0-4 against the spread. He's going against the number one rushing defense in the NFL. And what people don't talk, everybody's talking, and I get it, like all the Bills are the best rushing team, and they're against the best rushing defense. But, you know, Allen and Cook will persevere. And I'm saying people telling me that Jacksonville's not built to stop their run scheme. And all that's fine. What nobody's talking about is Jacksonville's pass defense.
Right. I
mean, they're 5th in the league in opposer passer rating. Like, and you can tell me they haven't played the toughest schedule. I got news for you. Neither is Josh Allen. Passer rating is 78.5, 62% completion percentage, and they turn you over. 22 interceptions. Josh Allen, if you do take away the run game on the road in the playoffs, it's a pretty good chance he starts throwing some jump balls. Who's his number one go-to guy? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Like, the Jags have a pick in 5 straight games, 13 of 17 this season. They've got a pick. Excuse me. I'm sick here. They've got a pick in 7 of their 9 home games. I think this could be tougher sledding for Josh Allen than most people will want you to believe. Trevor Lawrence has played great football. They've activated his legs. The RPO game is alive for them. And they've got 2 kids who can, well, not really kids. Jacoby Myers not a kid. Two guys with speed who can win on the outside in Washington and Myers, and Brenton Strange is killing people in the seam. And I know Buffalo's been pretty good against tight ends this year, but they do give up some shots, some seam shots to tight ends. And I think the way this Jacksonville team is built is going to be a problem for their defense. 24 rushing touchdowns allowed by the Buffalo Bills. Okay. And the Bills' home road splits, Kate, are extreme. Josh Allen throws for 260 a game at home. He throws for 172 on the road. They score over 30 points a game at home. They score 23 on the road. Kind of reminds me of the Bills a little bit. I mean, of the Chiefs a little bit. A Chiefs team that went down to Jacksonville in a big spot and got beat. I mean, again, people, I see the Twitter scouts don't think Jacksonville's run defense is as good as the numbers. I mean, the numbers are the numbers are pretty good. 3.9 per carry, number 11th in
they have the number one run defense.
Run D EPA. Yeah, I mean they're number 7 in True Media run defense success rate.
Yeah. They've only allowed more than Jacksonville's defense has only allowed more than 20 points once since week 12 against the Cardinals. That was an overtime game.
Number 1 scoring defense in the NFL since week 8. And they've been playing playoff games every week.
And you talk about all those turnovers, like that's kind of what started Jacksonville's maybe turnaround isn't the right word because they weren't terrible to start the season, but like the defense came on first and then the offense kind of turned around and you saw Trevor Lawrence started playing well. So like it all started defensively. I think their defense is really good. And I mean, the narrative coming into this game is that this is the easiest path that Josh Allen's ever had to the Super Bowl. He has to capitalize it on this time. This is not an easy path to me. I mean, this Jacksonville team is really good. You mentioned that Buffalo's home road splits in terms of scoring. Jason, I like the under in this one. 51.5. It's the highest total we have in Wild Card Weekend, and I think it's too high. I mean, the Bills, if they're going to lean on James Cook as much as they maybe should or the public thinks they should, like that it's going to just drain the clock. Buffalo runs the ball on half of its snaps, which obviously drains the clock on by design there. And their Bills defense allows the fewest opponents play per game. So you have a Bills defense that is okay, Bills team that wants to run a little bit more, and then a Jaguars defense that's really good right now. And Josh Allen is 4-2 to the under in wild card games throughout his career.
All the pressure's on him. Liam Cohen can coach this game looser than Sean McDermott. I think Liam Cohen, you'll see multiplicity in the run game. I think he will get different people playing around with the mesh point with Trevor Lawrence, not just Etienne. I think Trevor Lawrence's legs will be a big deal in this game. I think the home field advantage is very real. The Bills are only 6-6 straight up their last 12 road games. Like, the Bills franchise, Kate, hasn't won a road playoff game since the 92 AFC Championship. They've covered once. 1-7 are the Buffalo Bills, their last 8 road playoff games. And 8 straight up road losses. I mean, is this where it ends? I don't know, man. I think Jacksonville's been the more consistent, more sound team the last 2 months of the season. The Bills have had some crazy comebacks. I get it. Josh Allen, he's not dead till he's dead. But I think this is a bad matchup for the Buffalo Bills. And I think the Buffalo Bills, for their playoff psyche, for all the pressure that's on Josh Allen, like, I think they better get off to a fast start. Like, I think they better be able to play with a lead. If they don't, I think they're in trouble. And again, if you haven't been paying attention all year, Jags are 12-5 against the spread, tied for best in the NFL. Jags have covered 8 straight games. Jags are 7-2 against the spread at home, and they've covered 4 straight games. To your total, I didn't play the total here. I can see it going either way. But I think the Jags are winning this football game. I think they can win it high scoring. I think they can win it low scoring.
I also do like ETN over his rushing yards. I got it at 64.5. It's ticked upwards at 65.5. I think that's fine as well. But just the matchup that he's going to have against this Bills run defense, 31st of the league, defensive rush, EPA, DVOA. We talked about all that. 5.5 yards is what the Bills are allowing on the ground per pop. That's the 3rd most in the league. And I also do think maybe Jacksonville leans on its run game to keep the Bills offense off the field a little too. So that's one angle there. ETN over his rushing yards. And then I do wonder, I know Josh Allen's dealing with the foot injury, and I mean, he practiced in full this week and is coming into this game, says he's fine. I kind of like his over rushing yards, 35.5. I mean, when it's go time, Josh Allen does what he has to do. I don't think this foot is going to hinder him at all. Maybe there's not that many designed runs for him, but like if he finds a lane and needs to take off for a first down, he's going to do so, averaging 55 yards on the ground throughout his playoff career. 35.5 feels like, give him 2, 3, 4 opportunities and he could bust through that number.
He's had 50 rushing yards in 7 of his 13 career playoff games, and he had 46 in another, so damn close. I think he runs for 50 yards here. Mahomes ran for 60 against these guys, the Jags in the regular season. I think Allen throws a pick. I think Allen runs for 50 yards. I think Trevor Lawrence, they're giving you almost 2-1 on an anytime touchdown. I like that. I think Brenton Strange has a reception of 20 yards or more. I think the Jags win this game.
There you have it. Who do we think wins in 49ers and Eagles? We will continue to break down each and every game in Wild Card Weekend. That one coming up on the other side. This is BetMGM Game Day with Jason Lockenfora and Kate Constable.
BetMGM Game Day. The action starts here. Westwood One Sports. breaking down the biggest games and the smartest angles. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
Wildcard weekend in the NFL. 2 games down. Still have quite a few to go here this afternoon. Jason Luckenfor, Kate Constable here, breaking everything down for you on Westwood One Sports. Jason, we just talked about the Bills and Jaguars, and now it's time to move on to the Eagles and 49ers. This one being played in Philadelphia. It opened at Eagles about 3.5-point favorites, and this line has been on the move. We are up to 6 in favor of Philadelphia here today, which, is a big number against a 49ers team that has a lot of talent on it. Yes, they have a lot of injuries. They've struggled. Their defense has been horrible this season, but still, a big number for, one, the playoffs, and 2 teams that have played each other close when they have played. The question kind of with this one is the Eagles offense has struggled at times this season. Does that just turn around now that the playoffs are here? Can they just flip a switch? They rested their players in week 18, so they should be fresh and ready to go. Whereas the Niners, they did not do that, and they were awful in that week 18 game against the Seahawks. So Eagles offense, does it come alive today in Philly?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think they can be highly efficient. I think they can move the ball. I think styles make fights, and they may be pretty content here. Sirianni, knowing he doesn't get the bye this year. He did. Look, they used the Washington game last week as kind of a bye, but I think they just look at a Robert Saleh defense that's got holes all over the place in the run game. They can't get their run fits right. You could tell me it's all personnel. I don't know, man. I've been covering football a long time, been around a lot of smart people. I wish I had $1 for every time a coach or personnel guy I trust say you can stop the run if you set your mind to stopping the run. There are things you can do with your fronts that can make it that can disincentivize running. Salah better get there. He better get there fast. Since week 12, the Niners are allowing 4.8 per carry. That's 27th in the NFL. They're 31st in run defense success rate since week 12 per True Media. They also cannot stop running backs when you throw to them whatsoever. 94 receptions by running backs against the Niners this year. That's 3rd most in the NFL. 83.2% completion percentage when you throw to running backs. That is 29th in the NFL. I think they can run this thing through Saquon and control the ball, get Kyle Shanahan in his own head, get Purdy sped up, chasing the game, pick him off. I think it's a terrible matchup for San Francisco. There's a reason why Kyle Shanahan's infatuated with Vic Fangio's defenses and has been forever and has tried to hire him because he knows how to shut him down. That's why they're trying to bring in, that's why Brandon Staley got into that family tree and Salah. They're like, well, I need to get my Fangio guy on my staff so that he can stop other, my buddies in my family tree who run a similar offense, and I can learn from them and figure out where my weaknesses are. Now, I ran the numbers. I can only find 2 instances where Shanahan has faced Fangio as a coach or coordinator. 30 points were not produced in either of those games. 23 total points in one, 29 in the other. Fangio shut Shanahan's offense down. That was early in Shanahan's career with San Francisco, so whatever. But I think he's in their head, and he's healthy. He's got his D-line back. Mm-hmm. Trent Williams, people are not talking about that nearly enough. Is he at 75%? Is he at 80%? They need Trent Williams to be – they need all-pro Trent Williams on the road against this Fangio defense with the D-line that they've assembled. I think they can control the clock. I think they can road grade them. And then I think that Hurts can hit play action shots out of that stuff. I don't see an area where I feel like San Francisco is the better team. Maybe they have the better kicker for the first time in forever. Maybe. But they're on the road. They're against a physical team. They're against a team with a playoff pedigree. Yeah. I don't know.
49ers offense last week, week 18 against Seattle, only 120 passing yards, 53 rushing yards. Seattle's defense is good. Philly's defense is, I mean, maybe not quite as good, but the Eagles rank second in the NFL in defensive success rate between weeks 8 and 17. And I only say 17 because they sat their starters in week 18. So that number gets thrown off a little bit. But like this Philly defense, I think is going to make it really difficult for Brock Purdy and that offense to do anything. And I mean, maybe we're not talking about this enough. Like, is Brock Purdy's hand okay? He banged it on someone's helmet in week 18, and that hasn't really been a point of discussion. But like, if that gets injured at all, like we could be looking at a similar scenario to what was it, the NFC Championship game a couple years ago when the 49ers had to roll through just a bunch of quarterbacks. CMC's throwing a pass at some point. I mean, that's like worst case scenario type of thing, and I don't anticipate that happening today. But I just don't have a ton of faith in this Niners offense, and I think the line moving in this direction kind of tells you that. If we go on Eagles' side for props, Jason, like Saquon, over 18 and a half attempts, 79 and a half yards. Like, to get Saquon Barkley in a playoff game at 80 yards, he's averaging 100 per game over his last 4 weeks. That feels low. Against the 49ers defense, that's allowing the second highest rushing success rate, ranks 31st in PFF run defense. Like, everything points to the Eagles leaning on the ground game, leaning on Saquon, keeping the clock running, and keeping the 49ers offense off the field.
Look, let's be real here. 49ers can't run the ball. Haven't run the ball all year. Volume, nothing special. They got no pass rush whatsoever. They've got the worst pass rush in the NFL of all the playoff teams, by far. They've got a historically bad pass rush to ever make the playoffs. And Fangio is top 5 in pressure rate, despite the lowest blitz rate in the NFL. So, yeah, he gets pressure. He dials up pressure whenever he wants. And if Trent Williams ain't 1,000%, good luck. So that's a critical area that goes in the Eagles' favor. Yeah, look, I'm all over this game. Like, I've got Barkley rushing attempts tied to Eagles money line now. When that's when it was -3, like at 6, whatever. Right. I've got, I've got Barkley scrimmage. I think Barkley runs for 100 yards in this game. Like Hurts attempts, I'm playing it under 29.5. I think Purdy runs for at least 20 yards in this game. I think Purdy throws a pick in this game. I think it's a dead under game. I mean, the Eagles are under in 7 of their last 8. Like, you look at their real games since the bye. I'm not counting the exhibition against Washington last week. You look at total points since their bye in these games: 17, 25, 45, 39, 41, 31, 47, 25. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough sledding for the 49ers. I mean, Hurts is 5-0 in the playoffs in his career, and the team's averaging at home in the playoffs 5-0, and they're averaging over 30 points a game. Against this garbage defense, it wouldn't shock me. Like, I hope they don't get to 30. That's going to make it real sweaty for some of my unders, or sweatier than I'd like. But I think it's a really bad matchup for the 49ers. And frankly, I don't know who in that NFC field really would have been a good matchup for the 49ers. They're a little bit fugazi.
Yeah, and with all the injuries they've dealt with too, defensively, and I mean, Jason, we can't forget that they've had the easiest schedule, or one of the easiest schedules in the league. Like, they haven't played anyone.
There you go.
That's another huge key in this that maybe we should have just started off with, is that their schedule has been an absolute cakewalk. And here now, a big test in the postseason on the road in Philadelphia. And the Eagles laying 6 points. Dallas Goedert, also an interesting player to look at for props. 49ers, linebackers, they've struggled to defend tight ends. So Dallas Goedert, if you want other Eagle action, could be someone to keep an eye on. We'll continue rolling along. Wild card weekend here on BetMGM Game Day. We will talk Chargers and Patriots coming up on the other side. This is Westwood One Sports.
This is BetMGM Game Day, only on Westwood One Sports. Sunday pregame starts now with Jason La Canfora.
I love field goals here. Their offense is broken, and you can correlate it field goal attempts. Like, all they do is kick field goals.
And Kate Constable.
I just think so highly of Kevin O'Connell and what he's able to do with quarterbacks. But Kevin O'Connell has kind of shown us that he can take any quarterback and help them find success.
3 hours, every game, every edge. Your Sunday betting HQ is live. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
Biggest games of the year are kicking off. Head over to the BetMGM app and use this odds boost token. You can score a bigger payout if your pro football playoff bets wins. So BetMGM, again, odds boost token. Go opt in, get a bigger payout if your playoff bet wins. And there are plenty of playoff bets to be made today. Wildcard weekend rolls along. Yesterday we had Bears-Packers and Rams-Panthers, with the Bears and Rams both advancing on really last-minute drives in the fourth quarter. Matthew Stafford to Colby Parkinson, and then Caleb Williams and the Bears come back from 18 down to beat the Packers in the fourth. Moving on to today's slate, we start things here, Jason, with Chargers and Patriots. Drake May making his first postseason appearance. Patriots 3.5-point favorites against the Chargers, who travel across the country. This line really has not moved at all this week, which is interesting based on some of the fluctuation we've seen. We just talked about that Eagles 49ers game that's now up to 6. I mean, this one has not budged whatsoever, Jason. You have Justin Herbert dealing with that broken hand still, the left hand, so non-throwing hand. And, I mean, he's been okay with it so far, but you have to wonder how much that hinders him, if at all, today. Chargers sat their starters in Week 18, so should be a little bit more fresh. But this Patriots team has been rolling all season long, 14-3 in the regular season. Are they getting to 15-3 in the postseason here?
Excuse me, I don't think so. Now, if you're a Pats fan, you might be looking at Caleb Williams and what happened last night and saying, you know, first-time playoff starting quarterbacks within their first 2 or 3 years of being drafted, and that first game being at home, sometimes that's a house of horrors for him. Obviously, Caleb Williams and the Bears had a pretty brutal first half, did what they do in the second half. So
You can say that again.
I would also say that team's way more battle tested, played a tougher schedule. I think the verdict's out on the Patriots, and this for me is the best matchup that the Chargers could get. Now the Chargers getting a little healthier at tackle, but we'll see. They're two obviously top choice tackles are out for the year. They're at least not maybe down to their third string left tackle anymore. But it's not ideal. But I don't really like New England's pass rush doesn't scare me. New England's pass rush at home doesn't scare me. Like the best defense they faced, I guess, is Buffalo from the New England standpoint. This is a whole different animal here. Jesse Minter's defense is legit. That's a top 5 defense that can turn you over, that can confuse you. That generally starts games really well and try to take away your right hand and force you to beat them coming back from behind left-handed. I think it's 2 old school coaches. Both are probably relatively content to turn it into a rock fight. I just think the Chargers may be a little better equipped to win that rock fight. I don't totally buy the Pats defense. I really don't. Excuse me. I think Herbert's legs will be a huge part of this game plan. If they can get that going early and set up some RPO looks, I think it's going to be a problem for the Patriots. I think they will ignore Gonzalez's side of the field and find matchups they like throwing the other way. I think the ball can come out quick, and that can be effective to people like Gadsden and McConkey. I mean, the Chargers don't have a lot of speed, right? They've got one speed receiver. It's 50-50 whether he's going to hold on to the ball or not. But I'm not sure how much of that stuff they're doing here. I like the under more than anything else. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like the Chargers to win the game, and I like the under. Chargers road games this season are averaging 39.25 total points per game. The Chargers have been an under team. The Chargers have allowed somebody to score more than 20 points on them just once in the last 10 weeks. And look, I don't think, like I said, I don't think the Chargers are an explosive offense. I think Greg Roman, their offensive coordinator, will be fine running the ball 45 times and winning by one more point than you. So, like, these are two bottom 5 teams in the NFL, Kate, in terms of pace of play. So both are bleeding the clock. They're not going up tempo. I think it's kind of an old school game. You know, Harbaugh is a former quarterback who coaches like a defensive coach, and Vrabel is obviously a linebacker.
Omarion Hampton limited in practice on Friday. Does that concern you at all? He didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, limited Friday. The props are up for him. I mean, Omarion Hampton will be on the field today, but just how effective will he be? 44.5. And Brandon, our producer, just threw in the chat, Hampton 2+ touchdowns is plus 1,000. So 10-1. I mean, that's a pretty decent number on 2+ touchdowns for, like you mentioned, Chargers very fine just keeping the ball on the ground here, but I do wonder about the status of Hampton and how effective he's going to be.
Yeah, I wonder if they scheme it up. I mean, again, this is an offensive coordinator in Greg Roman and a head coach in Harbaugh, who, when they were in San Francisco, they went to Green Bay with Colin Kaepernick and helped produce one of the greatest postseason road quarterback performances in NFL history. Like, I think Herbert will be a big part of the way they attack this team on the ground. Vrabel's defense has not faced a lot of running quarterbacks. Josh Allen, like even Jackson Dart in that game, it got sideways. Dart only ran 4 times. But like when people have run 6, 7, 8 times or more with their quarterback, Allen went 9 for 53. Allen went 11 for 48, which was a good job by the Patriots there, but still got us where I want to get, which is over 30 in this one. Fields 11 for 67. Like, I like longest rush for Herbert. I played it at 12.5. Maybe it's ticked up to 13.5. I like that. I think Herbert runs for 30 yards or more in this game. I think Drake May is going to be running a fair amount in this game. Like, always been a difference maker for the Chargers defense. They made one of the best trade deadline acquisitions people aren't really talking about. Really, I mean, look, and Jacksonville game, Jacoby Myers. I mean, Jacoby Myers, Adafe Owe, maybe and Phillips, right, with the Eagles. Big one. Now that one, that was a big time trade. But I'm talking about trades on the margins. Like, the Chargers traded a scrub safety, Alohi Gilman, got Owe. Owe's been on a 15-sack pace since he got to the Chargers. Like, he's playing with confidence. He's tuned up. Derwin James is in great form right now. Like, a lot of times I don't like coordinators, young coordinators, when they start getting head coaching flirtations. But, like, Jesse Minter can't interview. He can't do anything until after this game. Like, so all that stuff's on the back burner. Like, it's not like he's prepping for an interview before the game, after the game. So, like, his focus is on winning this game, showing out in a single game window, and trying to stay at the head of the class. I think the Chargers have the better pass rush. I think the Chargers have the better defense. I also think Justin Herbert, okay, so he's 0-2 in his playoff career. He's only had 2 rushes in those games. Like, there's got to be a part of him that relitigates those games all the time. It's like, I'm an athlete, man. I'm the best athlete on this football field. Like, I've got 2 playoff losses. I've run the ball 2 times.
Those have been brutal playoff losses, too.
Been brutal losses. Brutal losses. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, Drake May is an awesome player, and maybe he takes this game over. Maybe this is the exclamation point on his MVP season. I think it's going to have to be, because I don't like the cast around him is the cast early in a rebuild. It wasn't the cast that's supposed to win a Super Bowl. It wasn't. Well, I mean, it was also Stephon had a great season, but it wasn't DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't making those kind of trades. Like,
I mean, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but like this is similar to the 49ers. Hasn't the schedule for the Patriots also been extremely soft all season?
it's been the easiest pass defense schedule in the NFL by a country mile. It's one of the easiest playoffs of a division winner ever. Like, it's, again, I would say their best defense they faced is Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo's defense is that great.
No.
It's maybe the worst run defense in the NFL if you combine all the metrics. And yes, it is an elite secondary. They have a great opposer passer rating and all that stuff. But I don't think it's a vaunted defense. Like, I mean, we've seen a couple games where Bosa's gotten off and Russo's look like who they drafted him to be, but it ain't every week. I mean, he beat Baltimore in prime time when he had to, and that was a huge moment for Drake May. Aaron Rodgers, who looked like he was cooked, threw for 294 and 290 against Baltimore in that same span. Baltimore's defense is garbage. They fired the coach. He's the 10th winningest coach in NFL history. They fired him 12th. They fired him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think this is a step up, major step up in weight class in terms of the caliber of coordinator, caliber of roster. Like, this Chargers defense has looked apart from the moment Harbaugh and Minter got there at the start of last season. And I think they are built to win an ugly road playoff game. And I think Justin Herbert can make one more play than Drake May today. I think they both could play really good football. And Drake may still lose.
Drake May rushing total today, 24.5 yards. He's gone over that 3 of his last 4 starts. He also has at least two passing touchdowns in 11 games this season. 1.5 passing touchdowns is the line today, and it's minus 114 on both sides. Based on everything you've just said, Jason, the argument there is take the under on the 1.5 passing touchdowns for Drake May today against this Chargers defense.
I'm not going over. I don't know that I'm fading him either, though.
Not really going under.
He's a player. But for me, I think it's an under game. Like, I'm on quarterback. Like, I think both quarterbacks run for 30 yards. Like, you could parlay that together. It's a pretty interesting payout. Like, I think they both have an explosive run. Like, I think they both have a run of 15 yards or more. Like, you can go to some books and bet total number of rushing attempts in the game. Like, that interests me. And I think it's an under game, and I think the Chargers win. I'm not on a ton of player props in this game outside of some rushing stuff because of the way I see the game. And like,
if you had,
I'm not knocking the Pats. The Pats have a good defense. I don't know that it's a great defense.
If you had to go Travion Henderson or Ramondre Stevenson to have the bigger game for Patriots, which of the two? Because they kind of have that two-headed monster thing going that Detroit has, that Chicago's trying to get going and has gotten going throughout the season. I lean towards Henderson, but it's kind of a coin flip whether
Henderson scrimmage. I lean towards Henderson scrimmage. Like, if the Chargers are able to heat up Drake May a little bit, is he checking down? Now, you could tell me, well, Henderson's not going to be in the field in those situations because they don't trust him in pass pro. It's weird. Like, Stevenson's the guy who sometimes has the more explosive runs and turns a check down or explosive screens. But, like, Henderson's going to catch more balls. But, like, I'm not on either guy. I'm honestly, like, I don't know how to thread that needle. Like, it's tricky wicket. Like, they don't fully trust Henderson. They just don't. And there's a part of Vrabel that's very old school. And pass pro matters a ton. And pass pro with a kid quarterback who's never been in the playoffs is going to matter a ton. But yeah, look, if they're chasing the game and they're in a 2-minute, Henderson might go off scrimmage-wise. He might have 50 receiving yards.
If the Chargers win today, if they beat the Patriots, Chargers would then play the Broncos, who have the bye as the number 1 seed. Can the Chargers beat the Broncos? That's, I guess, the next question that we need to ask. Yeah, you think they can?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I have to be a run-heavy script, but I do.
All right. Well, we will wait and kind of see how this one plays out. Chargers 3.5-point dogs. If you like them on the spread, getting that hook is key here. The total sitting at 45.5. Jason leans under on that total. And I do like Drake May over his rushing yards, 24.5. I think he uses his legs a little bit in that game. All right, that's Patriots and Chargers. We still have one more to go here. Texans and Steelers, a big one in Pittsburgh this afternoon. Texans are the favorite in that game. We are going to take a quick break, and we will break that one down on the other side. You are listening to BetMGM Game Day with Jason Lockenfora and Kate Constable right here on Westwood One Sports.
BetMGM Game Day. The action starts here. Westwood One Sports.
JLC's not back yet, just so you know.
The bets, the breakdowns, the big games. BetMGM Game Day continues on Westwood One Sports.
Okay, Constable Jason Lockenfora here with you on Westwood One Sports, breaking down Wild Card Weekend. A unbelievable day yesterday in the NFL. Rams get the go-ahead touchdown late in the fourth quarter. They win that one 34-31. And then the Chicago Bears come back from 18 down. They put up 25 in the fourth quarter to beat their rival Packers 31-27. Bears get their first playoff win in quite some time, and they advance to the divisional round where they'll find out who they play this afternoon. If the Eagles beat the 49ers, it will be the Niners. If not, it will be the Los Angeles Rams. We've talked through Sunday's wild card slate. We do have a Monday night football matchup in this round, this wild card round. Texans at the Steelers here. The storyline in this one is that Mike Tomlin is coaching at home on Monday night in Pittsburgh, where he just doesn't lose. Mike Tomlin is 23-0 on Monday nights in Pittsburgh, Jason. That's an absurd stat. Now,
Yeah.
he's got an aging quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who has looked good over the last couple of weeks. I mean, you throw the aging on him and it makes it sound like he's been terrible. He really has not been terrible by any means. It just that today you're going up against the Texans defense that is really, really good. And they have a great pass rush, and the offensive line for the Steelers is going to be working at an uphill battle to try and get Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter and all of those big guys for the Texans away from Rodgers all night. So here we are, Texans laying 3 on the road at the Steelers. But again, Mike Tomlin does not lose on Monday night. Jason, where are we going?
He also doesn't win in the playoffs lately.
That's also very true.
He's lost 6 straight
Where there's
playoff
one
games.
trend, there's always another.
He's allowed 28 points or more in all those games. He hasn't exactly faced murderer's row. I mean, there's a Browns team that knocked him off in that span. Steelers have never lost 3 straight home playoff games before. That would be the case if they were to lose today. I mean, this is where it gets real for Tomlin. This is where, the owner himself, who loves him, has said we need to be better than a team that just gets in the playoffs and then goes meekly. It's been a minute since Aaron Rodgers has been in the playoffs, but even in Green Bay, he hit the wall, I felt like, in some of those Januaries. And that was a much more athletic, much more vibrant version of him at quarterback, much more active and dynamic than what we have now. And he's also had the hand things going around. We've seen him hit his hand in some games now, and be playing with it, and he complained about it. And he complains about everything, but if he's got a hangnail, trust me, the world knows.
We'll hear about it.
Oh yeah. So it's interesting. I think the Texans are the better team. I think the Texans were going to smash, and by smash, I mean I think not make it a 1-score game. Whether they went to Baltimore or whether they went to Pittsburgh, they have a superpower. It's their defense. And yeah, Metcalf's back, but don't get it twisted. The Steelers' offense wasn't special against anybody all season except for the Bengals and the Ravens. Like, they look like a big boy offense at times against those teams, but the rest of the year, really not so much. I think the Texans can keep it simple, stupid here. I think it's an under game, even with it dropping below 40. And win this football game as long as C.J. Stroud doesn't lose it for them. And I don't think he's going to lose it for them. And the Steelers' defense is going to have to, obviously, if the Steelers win this game, the D-line, which looks more formidable now than it has for most of the year, right? They got Derek Harmon back. Herbig's healthy. Highsmith is playing his ass off the last month. He's been dominant. Hayward's playing his best football of the year. And Watt, coming back from the punctured lung thing, looked, pretty good against the Ravens, and obviously had a game-changing play, as he always has against the Ravens. But I
You also get DK Metcalf back on offense.
Yep. Yeah, you get him back. But like I said, Okay.
Is that
He went off against the Ravens in one game. He went off against the Bengals in one game. He didn't go off against any real defenses. Like, I don't think he's
right?
going off against the D'Amico Ryans led defense that allows 277 yards per game and 17 points per game. I don't think DK Metcalf is going to beat them. I just don't. I mean, this is a Texans team that was 0-5-1 in one-score games the first 9 weeks of the season, and then they're 7-0 in one-score games since. They've obviously been playing great football. They've got 29 takeaways. They can heat you up with the pass rush. This isn't a great Steelers offensive line. Rodgers, we saw the Myles Garrett game when all he had to do was score one touchdown against the Browns and they win, and the Ravens game wouldn't even have mattered. And he was so scared of getting hit and so in his own head that it undermined the offense. Well, guess what? You might not have a Myles Garrett, but like these guys coming off the edge, Hunter and Anderson, good luck. This secondary, where if you throw it to Gainwell 12 times, they're going to pick one or two of them off. Now, please still throw it to Gainwell 12 times because I'm still all over Gainwell because I can't.
We've been riding that for a couple weeks.
Can't quit that now,
Kate.
Cannot quit it now. This defense will be ready for it, but I still think this guy is going to funnel the ball to him, even with Metcalf back, because it's coming out. It's coming out quickly. I just don't see enough game changers for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were a flawed football team all year. I like field goals here. I think both kickers have two or more field goals. Neither red zone offense is going to scare the bejesus out of you. It's two defensive-minded head coaches who do skew old school and will take the points with the field goal kicker in a way at parts of the field where a lot of other people won't. I don't think it's going to be the most aesthetically pleasing game in the world. No. These teams are 20-14 to the. I'm sorry, Houston is 11-6 to the under. Pittsburgh skewed over slightly, but I don't think this is an over spot for them. I've got some I'm playing a few bets. Steelers team total under 15.5. Steelers team total under 13.5. I like the under in the game. Like I said, I think both teams have a field goal, 33 yards or more. I think both kickers make two or more field goals. I think Gainwell gets his 5 receptions and 30 yards. That's baked into the cake. I think Nico Collins has an explosive of 30 yards or more. And I think the Houston Texans, I think they win the game. Like, I've played alt lines, Texans -6.5, Texas -5.5.
I totally agree with you on all of that, really, but especially the under. The total's so low, 38, but that still doesn't seem low enough based on what you're going to get from this Steelers offense against the Texans defense. And then if you look at the Steelers offense on the road, well, first of all, games outdoors, they're averaging less than 22 points per game outdoors, averaging just about 20 points per game on the road, which is like over a touchdown dip, 7.5 point dip from what they're averaging at home. So that's not to say the Texans are not going to go out and win this football game. They certainly still can. I just don't think this is going to be a high scoring game for either side. I don't think we're getting a ton of touchdowns. So the field goal angle that you just threw out, I think is perfect because that's what a lot of this is going to come down to. And I mean, kicking across the NFL has been weird this year, Jason. I mean, going back to the Ravens Steelers game from week 18, and then you had Brandon McManus miss a couple kicks last night in the Bears. Like, kicking has just been strange. So see how that plays out. But then the other play that I did have written down is Kenneth Gainwell to have 30 receiving yards. I like that a little bit better than his receptions because at 4.5, it's juice -140. I still think you could go up to 5.5, 6. Like, did you ladder that at all for his receptions?
I didn't this week. I mean, again, I had been against lesser defenses. Against this defense, I'm not getting too cute. I've parlayed 5 receptions with 30 yards or more, and I've parlayed 6 receptions with 30 yards or more. And he does have 5 receptions in 6 of the last 8 games. He has 25 or more receiving yards in 7 of the last 8 games. He's got at least 7 targets in 4 of the last 5 games. And he obviously has the ability to turn a check down, a dump off into a 15 or 20 yard gain. I think Warren, look, you have to break some tendencies here as well. Like, I'm not on a lot of player props in this game. Like, again, I'm on a running back. I'm on a couple kickers. I'm on Collins just for have one, to have one explosive, which he's usually good for. I'm not on a lot of other props because I think this game could be, 17-10. But, like, I could see Warren showing up in the pass game as well. Like, they're going to have to break some tendencies. And Warren, look, well, it's not like it's unusual for Warren to have 25 receiving yards himself. Maybe you see Gainwell carry the ball a little more than we're used to, and Warren catch the ball a little more than we're used to. But regardless, I think they run their offense through Kenneth. They run their passing game through Kenneth Gainwell. And even with Metcalf coming back against this defense, with the matchup he's going to have on the outside, and even when they put him in the slot, I think Stingley can eliminate him. I don't think D'Amico Ryans has to scheme up ways to stop Metcalf. I think even with Metcalf back, he's got the full panorama of anything he wants to do defensively. And with this quarterback, again, and I know he had a 20-yard run last week. That's because Roquan Smith is the most overpaid linebacker in the NFL. But, like, Aaron Rodgers, you know where the ball's being launched from. You know the launch point. You know the spot. You know how quickly it's coming out. And I do like Aaron Rodgers' passing attempts, even in an under game. Like, this could be Aaron Rodgers' last playoff game. You think he's going down, handing it off to some mediocre running back? I mean, mediocre is probably too strong of a word. But, like, I think he's throwing the ball 35 times in this game. Like, I think when those checkdowns turn into 20-yard gains, he looks at his box score, and that's a 20-yard reception. Like, no one's looking at air yards in the traditional box score. Like, I think he wants to chuck it around. This is about Aaron Rodgers. This is not about the Pittsburgh Steelers. In his mind,
What is it not about Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers' legacy. Yeah. This is about Aaron Rodgers' legacy. So I think Aaron Rodgers' attempts, they're not going more than 5 yards downfield. That's fine. I think he'll be chucking it.
I think if the Steelers, I think regardless of what happens in this game, this is the last we see of Aaron Rodgers. Is he coming back for another year? I can't really see that happening. Especially if they lose and Tomlin potentially gets fired. Like, does he come back without Tomlin? Like, that's another major factor in all this of if Rodgers returns. Because, I mean, if you have a young head coach coming into Pittsburgh next year to take over for Tomlin, hypothetically assuming he gets fired, is Rodgers going to stick around for that? I mean, Rodgers does a lot of things that we don't all understand or make sense, but I can't see him doing that.
Hey, LaFleur could be on the market. Does it have to be a young coach?
No, I guess it doesn't. That would actually be very interesting.
I mean, does he?
Because they had a good relationship, right? Like, they got along.
I think it was the front office and the contract that led to his demise in Green Bay. It was the finances more than anything else. I think there's a lot there. I think this guy might want to keep playing. I think he might want to keep playing.
What's he going to be?
43?
42?
I think.
43? Yeah, I mean, Brady did it.
Kate. It's just a number.
That's right. Okay, so the Texans defense, I think a lot of us can agree that's like a Super Bowl caliber defense. That's a defense that could get you to the Super Bowl. It's the offense that everyone has question marks around. If they win this game, do any of those question marks go away? Because for me, it's still the offensive line is not that great. You don't have all that many weapons. Your run game it's okay, subpar, but like, is Woody Marks going to be your running back in the Super Bowl that brings you to victory? Like, those are questions that I still have, and I'm not sure anything changes, even if the Texans win this game, just how I think of them offensively, unless all of a sudden they absolutely explode and show us something we haven't seen so far.
Well, look, we talked about them quite a bit on my Wannabet show, and I think they're going to the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, again, for what it's worth.
Okay.
I like Texans Super Bowl. So it's not going to change much for me. If they lose, it will. I think the defense, when you look at the quarterbacks in the AFC, I think the defense can go on the road and hold any of those quarterbacks, under 21 points. So can they beat those teams? Can they beat Denver 21-20 on the road? Can they beat New England 21-20 on the road? I think they can.
Okay, so do you have futures on the Texans winning the Super Bowl?
Not winning the Super Bowl. just the Texans Rams. Texans to win the AFC. Texans Rams Super Bowl. I like the Rams in that situation. I do have futures on the Rams to win the Super Bowl, but not
Texans,
the Texans.
Rams,
But I have
Super
one
Bowl.
to get there.
Texans right now 12-1 to win the Super Bowl. Not too shabby of a number there. All right, that takes us through all of the games remaining in Wild Card Weekend. Still have plenty more to come on the show, though. We're not done quite yet. We're going to do some fun hot or cold type games, fill in the blank, and keep these things rolling. Give you some bets to hand out for Wild Card Weekend as we continue on here on BetMGM Game Day.
BetMGM Game Day. Make it legendary on Westwood One Sports. Smart takes, real stakes. The weekend starts now with BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
He is Jason Lockenfor. I'm Kate Constable here with you on BetMGM Game Day. About an hour, 20 minutes left in the show to break down Wild Card Weekend. We've gone through all of the games here on the slate, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of them with some fun scenarios to get you excited for the games today and to get you some hopefully some smart bets that make you some money throughout. And to do so, we're going to bring in our executive producer, Brandon Combs, to play a little game of fill in the blank. I apparently can't fill in that blank there. But first, Brandon, okay, I know you're a Bears fan. You live in Chicago here alongside. I mean, I'm in Chicago. We're both Bears fans. Like, just take me through your emotions of last night's game because it was pretty incredible.
I can't even explain it, to be honest with you. It was a roller coaster. Look, 21-3 when they missed that field goal at the end of the half. I was like, all right, they've got a chance here. I even told my podcast partner because we were watching the game at a buddy's house, and I said, I think the Bears have a chance to win this game at halftime. And he's like, you're nuts. And then all the way through when it was 21-16, I was like, oh my God, here we go. And then with like 6 minutes to go, I think it was, the Packers scored to go up 27-16. I left. I was like, all right, I'm going home. I'll finish the game because it was only a 2-minute drive from my house.
Right.
And I get home and just chaos ensued. I mean, I was beside. I was doing the.
You got home to watch it.
Yes, I was doing the rundown for the show because I was so dejected. I was just like, all right, let me finish up, make sure everything's good to go for the morning. And the Bears just kept coming back, and I was, yeah, it was everything you think that it would be with me at home by myself, screaming at a TV like a maniac.
It was pretty incredible. I think that was Bears fans all across Chicago screaming at their TVs yesterday. Well, let's start things off with fill in the blank, and I know our first one has something to do with the Chicago Bears.
It does. All right, so Kate, let's start with you here because you're the resident Bears fan as well. If the Bears win the NFC Championship, I will be blank.
I mean, I will be... That's a good question. I mean, I'll be ecstatic. I'll also be a little surprised, I think. Not because we haven't seen what this Bears team is capable of doing, but like, can you consistently do it in the playoffs where the Bears have not been a whole lot lately? So like, if they win the NFC Championship, it's going to be pure jubilation, but it'll also be a little bit of like, holy cow, I can't believe that just happened versus, yes, we knew we all season long, we deserved to be in this point type of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be not broke because I'm not putting crazy money on these futures, but I'll be a loser. I'll be faded. I'll be left with egg on my face. Like I told you guys, I haven't been betting against them for a while. Is there a part of me that doesn't really buy what's going, like fully buy what's going on? There is.
Yeah.
It's not the first team I've thought that way about. It won't be the last. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. Again, I think New England might end up being in a similar vein. I haven't been actively betting against the Bears for 3, 4, or 5 weeks now, but I'm also not I can't get there to put my money on them. I don't think it's a particularly good defense. I don't think they're great against the run or the pass. Their superpower is turnovers. The better caliber quarterbacks you face, and especially if you stop being at home, that becomes more difficult to produce. I think this is where the story ends, but we'll see.
Yeah, look, I mean, even after last night, JLC, and if you still, this team just finds a way. I mean, you're right. They're not good defensively. They're not good against the pass or the run. But I'll be ecstatic if the Bears win the NFC Championship, obviously, for two reasons. One, because I'm a Bears fan, but for two, because we have a show bet now on BetMGM tonight where Pat Boyle, when I
Ooh.
picked Texans and Bears in the Super Bowl, he said if the Bears win the Super Bowl, he'll get a Bears tattoo and I can pick it. So stay tuned for that, because
That's aggressive.
it makes it just
That's
that much
aggressive.
more, because
Yeah.
he's going to have good, better, best somewhere on his body.
And
Guarantee
make it like
I'm picturing
large.
would this count as a Bears tattoo? If you have Tressman and then you have like Nagy on his Nagy on his like sitting on his shoulders, and then Mike Martz sitting on his shoulders, and then Jay Cutler sitting on Martz's shoulders like a tower. And
Jay
then there's
Cutler
like a huge
smoking a
Bears-
cig or something. Yeah.
Yes, at the top, Cutler smoking a cig with a Bears logo behind it. That would be. I mean, that sounds like a really painful. That's probably your whole back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
That might
there's
be a
some
little
spatial
aggressive.
limitations.
Are there any parameters for the tattoo?
There hasn't been any yet. He might throw out some now that
Yeah.
the Bears beat the Packers, because he had the Packers winning the Super Bowl, and so
Oh.
he went
From a
aggressive
recent
against
or
it.
from the season, from the
From-
summer.
No,
He
from
didn't
well,
double
he
down on
doubled. He doubled down. Yeah, and
Ooh.
so
Even after the
when
Parsons injury?
Wow.
yes, he doubled down when
Wow.
we did our picks this week. And so when I had the Texans
Wow.
and the Bears, he said I was crazy, and I said, okay, well, if it
He might
happens,
deserve
are you
the
getting a
back
tattoo? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and he's been such a detractor of Caleb Williams that I think maybe just Caleb on his back doing the bear claw. I
That
think
would
maybe
be
that
good.
might be a thing too. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I like the
We'll
bear
see
claw.
how it goes.
Make sure those
Stay
nails are
tuned.
painted too for the bear claw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. I will be blank if Matt LaFleur is the head coach of the Packers on Tuesday. JLC?
I will be puzzled. I think that they know what's got to happen here. He was a great hire at the time. I didn't think it would be. He's been a really good regular season coach. He's got too much on his plate. I think this thing's been going in a negative direction for a while. His game management is pretty atrocious. He's played in 9 playoff games and won 3 of them. There's going to be staff changes coming. The D coordinator's going to get a job. Their special teams still always finds a way to undermine their season. I know you can't blame a coach for an onside kick not being recovered, but still, that stuff keeps happening. The second half game man, to lose to a division opponent like that when you've overcome Parsons' injury, you've got everything. You've handed that coach at halftime everything he could have asked for and more, and he still finds a way to pee it away. And it's a coveted job, and you've got a quarterback and you're measured there. That's a place you're measured in the postseason. So I'd be puzzled.
I'll be surprised if he is still the head coach of the Packers on Tuesday. For all the reasons Jason said. And I mean, it feels at this point 3-6 in the postseason. Is that the ceiling for him? Is that all you can get? I mean, yesterday was laid out perfectly for him to finish off the second half and move on and have move on in the playoffs. And he couldn't do it. And it's felt underwhelming now for a little while. I think at this point, especially with a coach like Harbaugh out there, you go after him and you part ways with Matt LaFleur. So I'm going to be surprised if he's still there Tuesday.
Yeah, Bears beating the Packers in the playoffs and maybe sending Matt LaFleur packing. This might be the greatest Bears season of all time in my life.
Up much better. Yeah.
It's insane. All right, we got about 90 seconds left. If the Buffalo Bills don't win the AFC this season, blank. Kate?
Nothing. I don't
Somebody
think,
else
I
will.
mean, maybe, yeah. Maybe McDermott gets fired and maybe it's time for him, similar to LaFleur. It's just kind of run its course. We've hit our ceiling here with them. I think that's the biggest takeaway. But Josh Allen's going to come back next year. They'll retool their offense a little bit, defense a little bit, like everyone does in the offseason, and we'll have this same conversation about Josh Allen again next season. I think it'll be a disappointment because of the path without Mahomes and Burrow and, that whole storyline, but they don't win it this season. Not a whole lot changes. Jason?
Yeah, if they don't win it this season, then Josh Allen better catch Lamar Jackson levels of outrage because their playoff careers are going to be pretty much mirror images.
Yeah, if they don't win it this season, I think Josh Allen has to catch a grief. I think McDermott is fired. I start to see a rebuild in Buffalo, even with the new stadium coming next season. I think you have to start making changes all the way around. And it's not to say that Josh, they just haven't given him any help.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I mean, who's his best wide receiver?
Dude, I mean, I don't know. He's got a good offensive line. They had the number 1 run game in the NFL. Like, this guy, I mean, he's got to go out and win a playoff game. Like, it's, I mean, they went and got Diggs. They did all that stuff. I'm old enough to remember when they made the Diggs trade and they loaded. Yeah. They drafted nothing but moved tight ends. I mean, I don't know. He's got one of the best running backs in the league. He's got a really good offensive line.
He's got a lot to prove still today, and he will have the opportunity to do so. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports. We continue on next.
game starts now with Jason La Canfora.
I love field goals here. Their offense is broken, and you can correlate it field goal attempts. Like, all they do is kick field goals.
And Kate Constable.
I just think so highly of Kevin O'Connell and what he's able to do with quarterbacks. But Kevin O'Connell has kind of shown us that he can take any quarterback and help them find success.
3 hours, every game, every edge. Your Sunday betting HQ is live. This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.
Wild card weekend, 2 games down, 4 more to go, 3 today. We have a Monday night football matchup as well, Texans and Steelers. We have talked about each of these games in depth. So if you want to go back and listen, you can do so on the free Odyssey app. Because we're going to continue rolling on here with some more just props, thoughts on these games. And then we'll wrap up the final hour here with our best bets about 40 minutes from now. We'll tell you where exactly we're putting our money on all these games today. We're going to continue on with a little game of fill in the blank and then play a little hot or cold. And to do so, Brandon, our executive producer, welcome back in.
Yes. So look, we finished off with if the Bills don't win the AFC, and you guys are like, yeah, it kind of par for the course. So let's go to another AFC team. The Ravens firing Jim Harbaugh. Coaching carousel is going to be wild. But the Ravens firing Jim Harbaugh was blank. JLC?
Necessary. He's the right coach potentially for a lot of places right now. He was no longer the right coach in Baltimore, and he staved that off for what I think we'll look back over time and say is a historically significant period of time. Like, I don't know that we're going to see that many more runs like Tomlin's having now. Like, I mean, Andy Reid's had 2 of them, right? One in Philly, one in Kansas City. I just don't think we're going to see, and especially to go from a special teams coach nobody ever heard of, and the second or third pick for that job in real time, if Bisciotti would have got, things falling the way he wanted, and Jason Garrett doesn't take the Cowboys job. So it was a historic run, but it had run its course. It had gotten stale. He had gotten glazed over. The message wasn't resonating as much. And the relationship between him and the front office, which is not talked about nearly enough, the relationship that deteriorated, it was him in the front office, not really him and Lamar. Like, was Lamar the biggest Todd Monken guy in the world? No. Like, I think Lamar was maybe open for change, and Harbaugh was sick of firing coaches. But I think Harbaugh was also sick of nothing ever changing in the front and down the hallway in football ops. Nobody gets fired over there. There's no shakeup over there. They're not getting rid of their analytics kids who keep having us draft players who come in the league hurt or too small to make an impact, or you think you found value in this late round. Like, I think he was over all of that. Like David Ajabo being literally a nothing burger, like doing nothing in the offseason and then saying we're just going to draft Malachi Starks and Mike Green, and you have a defense that's an abject failure anytime they face a real quarterback. Like, so it had to change. Now, if the GM gets his way, they'll find some young puppet under their thumb who they can control, who'll be perfectly fine with all the roster construction flaws that they have and all the ridiculous ways of going about their business, hoarding comp picks, pretending free agency doesn't exist, loading up on mediocre corners and no pass rushers, like not building your defensive or offensive line with any real assets. Like, some young coach would probably be okay with that because, hey, I get to coach Lamar Jackson. I would hire Steve Spagnuolo. They probably won't even interview Steve Spagnuolo.
I mean, I don't know if I can add any more than what Jason just did there, because my answer is, so, like, it was about time. It was time. It was the right move. It was time to move on. And I think they made the right move by firing Harbaugh, and he can go somewhere else. He's going to get another head coaching job. It's not the end of the road for him by any means. It just, and I don't even think he's a bad coach. Like, I don't even think he's fired because he's a bad coach. It's just like, it had run its course. And at some point, it's just time for everyone to go their separate ways, to move on and to get some fresh new ideas, new thoughts in the building, especially just with how kind of like Jason, I think you would use the word stale it had become in Baltimore. So it was time. It was time for the Ravens to fire Harbaugh.
All right, let's stay on that same train of thought. The best head coaching vacancy right now is blank. Kate?
Ooh. In terms of quarterback you get to work with, I think it's Lamar, and I think it's the Ravens right there. I don't think you can argue with that point of, I mean, who else if you want to work with a good quarterback that's ready to win right now, Lamar Jackson's the only option. You have no other options based on the openings that are there. Like Tua in Miami, no, thank you. Cam Ward, even though he's a young quarterback in Tennessee, no, thank you. I mean, Jason talked about how poor that front office is, and it's just miserable there. I think the Raiders could be interesting just because of the I don't know, Tom Brady being in that front office and what he wants to do with that organization. That's kind of appealing. But I think overall, in terms of the personnel that you get, I think the Ravens is the best job.
Yeah, I mean, look, this could change, if/when LaFleur is let go. But for now, one of these teams is not like all the others. One of these teams is going to the playoffs with regularity. One of these teams is not constantly looking for a new coach or GM every 3 years. One of these teams has a multiple-time MVP award-winning quarterback. One of these teams has an owner who was willing to keep. Now, I would say the loyalty's gone too far, but was loyal enough to keep people around as long as he has a top football operations and as his head football coach. They've got amazing facilities, one of the best practice facilities in the league. It's not an owner who's cheap on the creature comforts and things like that. This isn't a Bidwell situation. It's a big enough market, but it's a small media market. Like, you can control things. And the division looks pretty. I mean, the division, as much as it's been a monster in the past, we think Tomlin could walk after this game. A lot of people think Zach Taylor should be out, but the owner's just too cheap to pay him to go away. And Stefanski is out. I mean, if you were going to rank the head coaches in this division, you would look at Tomlin, you would look at Harbaugh, you would look at Stefanski and say, if those guys left, they're going to get jobs somewhere, good jobs somewhere, in a matter of weeks. All three of them might be out of the division. And the one who's staying is the one who people think should have been fired probably long ago.
So, yeah.
All of a sudden, the AFC North could be like the NFC South. Get the 8 wins and win it. And you got Lamar and they don't.
Yeah, I can make the case for the New York Giants, though, and here's why. You've got Jackson Dart, you've got Neighbor, you've got all of your pieces in line already. You've got a top 5 draft pick this season. You've got so much draft capital. Now, granted, Joe Shane's still your GM, but if you're a John Harbaugh, or if you're
your owner,
if you're Stefanski, if you're one of these coaches that is, has that pedigree, you can ask to bring in your own GM, and now you have all of this stuff with the young quarterback. Now, look, I love Lamar. I think Lamar is fantastic. I think Lamar's gotten a bad rap over the last, his entire career. I think that he's been, underappreciated. I wouldn't say undervalued. He's won 2 MVPs, but he's been underappreciated. But I think with the youth of Jackson Dart and what he's capable of doing, plus all of the stuff you have on that roster, along with, everything that you can have because of your draft capital.
How good can the roster be? How good? What did they win? 4 games? The D-line was supposed to be great. Abdul Carter couldn't make the game day roster. That building's been toxic forever. Go look at their record since they sent Tom Coughlin packing.
But you can change the culture with a good coach, and I think that the Bears have shown that this year with Ben Johnson.
Trying.
You can change that culture with a good
not
coach.
Crown
You bring
Ben
in
Johnson. Let's be careful. Let's be
whoa,
careful. Crowning
whoa,
Ben
whoa,
No, you're talking to Bears fans here. We have crowned him.
That first
He's
half
wearing
was
the
a
crown
joke.
already.
Okay. All right.
I'm not
First half,
saying that Ben
in the same
Johnson.
category as John Harbaugh.
I mean, I would say maybe John Harbaugh might be a little bit overrated too, though. I'll give you that. I mean, I think you can go both ways
Let's
with
see
that.
Ben Johnson last 18 years in Chicago. You want to make a bet on that? I'll be dead before it. Well, no,
I won't
because
be taking that bet, Jason. I will not take that bet.
I think that Ben Johnson has changed the culture. I'm not saying that he's the greatest coach of all time.
1 year, dude.
But he's changed the
year.
but it's 1
the
year
hard part
of
starts next year when they're the hunted. Did Dan Quinn change the culture in Washington? That's what I was told last year. Dan Quinn, they got the right man for the job. Everybody but Dan Quinn got fired literally 9 months later.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I've been around the block a few times. Like, next year they're the hunted. Let's see how that goes.
I agree. I agree. And it could be a case of what have you done for me lately? I get it.
Brian Dable was Ben Johnson year one. They went to the playoffs. Nobody thought they were going anywhere. He did such a good job with Daniel Jones that the owner, who has no clue what he's doing, that messes everything up, who's above the head coach, right? They picked Daniel Jones. That's our guy, and we're going to ride him, and Dable's a whisperer. Why did Jackson Dart get drafted? Brian Dable. Who got not Joe Shane, not the owner. They were scared to death of him. He's too much of a frat boy. Dable was the guy who banged the hardest for him, and now he's fired. Didn't McAdoo? They won year one with McAdoo. I'm pretty much old to remember that. The suits didn't fit him, the clothes didn't fit him, but they won year one. It fell apart. I don't think the Giants does a great job. I don't think that ownership group's very good. And Jackson Dart is in the medical tent a lot, man. He's in the medical tent a lot. Like, I don't know. And the media, just for everything you laid out, the media thinks a guy like that comes in, they think he's going to win immediately. Like, they think he's got to win immediately. Like, I'd rather go to Atlanta than the Giants 8 days a week, even without the quarterback. I could go get Malik Willis and win the NFC South with Atlanta next year. I don't even need Penix. Give him a rehab year.
All right. This is just in. Jason Lockenfor is up for the Atlanta Falcons job.
I mean, not
all
me.
Right.
I mean, well,
I'd back you, Jason.
I'm saying, if I'm a Stefanski, if I'm a Harbaugh, if I'm a LaFleur, if he gets fired, if I'm that kind of guy, I don't know that I'm dying to go to the Big Apple. I don't know.
I started in Chicago. Coach would be blank for Cam Ward. Kate?
You broke up a little there when I was Matt Nagy being the Titans head coach. Ooh. I'm going to say the wrong move, a disaster. I mean, you just look at what Nagy did with quarterbacks here in Chicago as a head coach. I don't think it would be all that successful. And I mean, let's not forget that I think Nagy gets like some credit for Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes because he was the quarterback's coach for Matt Nagy did not do that. Patrick Mahomes was going to be as unbelievable as he is without that. If anything, it's Andy Reid, and Andy Reid's the play caller. So I don't think Matt Nagy molding Cam Ward going forward as a young quarterback is the right move for the Titans to make as their next head coach, Jason.
Yeah, I'm going to say it would be quintessentially Titans. It would be absolutely perfect. It's what they should do because they all they care about is getting a handout for their stadium and hosting a Super Bowl one day. Amy Adams Strunk's a terrible owner. I've documented this for years. She has no clue what she's doing, and she's not invested in it. It's hard to live in Houston and run a team in Nashville. This would be very fitting, like Callahan. Just go get older Callahan. That would be great. Like, that would be perfect. It'd be horrible for Cam Ward, but he'll get out of there like Malik Willis did and Tannehill did, and watch. He'll make his money and he'll be fine. But, it would be perfect. It's so on brand. Like, it should happen. It's just cheap. Like, it's like modern day malarkey. It's like higher malarkey. It would be totally great. Do it. I dare you.
Cam Ward showed so much growth towards the last half of this season. I liked watching his game. I think that he can be a good quarterback. If Matt Nagy is his head coach, you're going to watch the decline really, really rapidly. We watched it with Justin Fields. All right, guys, last one here. The Super Bowl champion will be blank. JLC?
Ooh.
I'll stick with the Rams begrudgingly, but I have not loved what I've seen since that 2-point conversion call went against them in Seattle.
This is so hard for me. I mean, the Rams have been one of my favorites all year long. That's kind of who I've been banging my chest on. I could see it being, honestly, I could see it being Jacksonville. Can Jacksonville win a Super Bowl? Maybe.
Sure.
Broncos, maybe. Seahawks. I mean, this is a terrible answer for me, but I could be multiple. I guess it's an open-ended answer. I can do whatever I want with it. Super champion will be
multiple. I like it.
Multiple. No, just I gotta pick one. I'm gonna go Jacksonville. I'm gonna go with the Jags make it to the Super Bowl.
Man, you disappoint
that
me,
would
Kate.
Be wild.
In the Super Bowl. Bear down.
The right answer was Chicago, Kate, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, I know, but I'm a realistic Bears fan, and maybe that is realistic now. Maybe the tides really are turning, and I need to jump on board because that was pretty incredible last night. But you can't play just one half of football and win a Super Bowl. That certainly cannot happen, and the Bears have done that in, 2 of their last 3 games? Whatever the 2 against the Packers were, for sure. All right, coming up on the other side, we have to build our show parlay. That is coming your way next, right here on BetMGM Game Day.
This is BetMGM Game Day nationwide on Westwood One Sports. Your weekend sports conversation rolls on with BetMGM Game Day right here on Westwood One Sports.
Wildcard weekend here on BetMGM Game Day. Kate Constable, Jason Lockenfor with you for the next 40 minutes. We have our best bets coming your way 20 minutes from now as we'll wrap up the show. But we can't do so until we build our show parlay that we do each and every week. We've hit some big ones a couple times throughout the year. Not a ton because parlays are tricky to hit, but we have hit 3 or 4, I would say, throughout the first 18 weeks of the season. Last week, not so kind to us. We needed a Derrick Henry touchdown, Jalen Warren touchdown to go with our Kenneth Gainwell over 4.5 receptions. The Gainwell portion of that hit, the 2 anytime touchdowns for Henry and Warren, not so lucky. So that one did not hit. We also had a big money parlay, which was 80-1. We hit 2 of those legs, Jason, 2 of the 3. Pat Freiermuth, 40-plus yards, and Kenneth Gainwell, 50-plus yards. All we needed was Jalen Warren to score the first touchdown of that game. And, of course, he didn't even find the end zone. So that part did not hit. But we live to bet another day. And to do so, we're going to go to, what did we decide, guys? Buffalo-Jacksonville game, or are we doing one for all 3 games today? Maybe we do both.
We could
let's do all.
All right, let's start with the same game parlay in Bills Jags, and then we will build a second parlay with one leg from each of the 3 games today. So, Brandon, come on in once again. Where do we want to start? Jason, I'll let you throw out an angle for one of these legs in this SGP.
Jacksonville money line. Do we want to just start there? Are we in agreement on that?
I like the Jags today.
I mean, I did just tell you that they could be my Super Bowl pick.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about this game early in the show. Everyone seemed to like the Jags' chances. So do we just baseline start there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I like I like the under too. I don't know how you guys feel about the total, but I feel like the under comes in on this one because I just think the Jags defense, I think Buffalo's going to struggle to get going. I think that James Cook is going to struggle to get going against this defense as well. And I feel like this is going to end up being like a 24-20 type game, which would put you in the under. Like I can't see this being, like a 27-24 type game, a 30-21 type game. I just don't see that. But we can stay away from the under too, because Jason, it looks like you want to stay away from the under. You don't like the under in this one?
I'm just one vote out of 3. I like the under. If our process, and our process has been pretty flawed to this point. So if our process is three yays carry the bet, I can't go yay on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's 2 out of 3,
Brandon, I like the under too, but I'm not sure I like it for the parlay.
Okay. All right. How do we feel about Trevor Lawrence's over 1.5 touchdown pass? I like both the over 1.5 with Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence.
It's live for me. I don't dislike that. I could definitely see that happening.
Trevor's
I
plus
like the
money
Trevor
for
Lawrence
over.
over more so than I do Josh Allen over.
Okay. So we like that. So let's do Trevor Lawrence then. Let's do Trevor Lawrence for over 1.5.
And then what if we do Josh Allen's rushing yards?
Ooh.
God, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
Okay.
You could ramp that up for me if you want to. I think it's
up to 39.5 right now was the number I'm looking at.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I mean I'm not scared of Fitty.
That's 5-1.
That's pretty good.
That's solid. That's yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And is that 39.5 for Allen that you have, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, there's other books where you can find it at 38.5 right now. I like it at 39.5. I like it over that. Even if you ladder Josh Allen's rush yards today, I think I like Josh Allen's legs
50.
today.
I like it 50 and above. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So
also remember that over at BetMGM, we have the big boys are battling today. So attach your no sweat token to a qualifying playoff bet and you get a bonus bet back if you win. So that could be something that you attach to this same game parlay for wildcard weekend. And no sweat, get your stake back in bonus bets if your bet does not win. But we're hoping this one wins today. You said that's 5-1, Brandon?
5-1 for that one.
All right. I like that.
I do too.
I like that. We hit I didn't even realize this. I think 2 weeks ago we hit because I bet it.
Yeah.
I bet this one. Oh no, this was a different show I was on that yeah, shoot.
No, we hit ours 2 weeks ago too.
740. Did we hit one a couple weeks ago?
We missed the 80
we did.
one.
We hit the
one by the first touch. It was if we
Well,
had played it any time,
one the other week.
We hit our 7-1. We hit our 7-1 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Let's go with the big money bet that we do, which we try and get it much higher than 5-1 with the 3 games. So one leg from each game that is being played today. Just so, the bet wraps up today and we don't take it into Monday Night Football.
The Brandon parlay?
The Brandon parlay. You always have interesting parlays, Brandon.
I do have a 230-1 this weekend.
Oh, of course. All right, give it to us. Well, give it to us and we'll see which legs we potentially want to take out of it.
All right, so it's 2 from each game today. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns, along with Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey over 113.5 rush receiving yards. Saquon Barkley over 19.5 rush attempts. And then Drake May over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And Omarion Hampton to score 2+ touchdowns.
That's all one parlay.
That's one parlay that gets you to 230-1 each leg. So the Allen and Trevor Lawrence is plus 240. The Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley parlay is 3-1. And the Drake May Omarion Hampton one is 16-1. And that's because Omarion Hampton's 10-1 to score 2+ touchdowns.
Ooh. That's an interesting one. Anything from there, Jason, that pops off the page at you?
Not so much.
Uh-oh. Nothing.
Oh.
Which means it'll probably hit. That means, dude, you'll probably run the table. Yeah, I think that the Chargers game is an under game, so like I don't one guy having 2 touchdowns. I mean, like it's not impossible, but with him being on the injury report and everything, like I don't know. I feel like defenses usually, good defenses tend to shine here. We've got some good defenses in these games, so I don't know. I'm not on many anytime touchdowns or first touchdowns personally in these games. Like Saquon Barkley to rush for 100 yards. Like if we're going for a bigger one, that's going to be around 2-1 by itself.
Saquon is one that I have, so I'm good with Saquon if we want to go over his rushing yards and bring that up a little bit. I mean, it's already at 80.
Yeah, like I'm
bring it
talking,
up to
I'm
90,
talking 100. I'm talking 100 rushing yards.
I think that's fair. I mean, Eagles would be kind of silly not to lean on Saquon Barkley. He's had, averaging 100 yards or had, what is it? Let's see. He has averaging 100 rushing yards over his last 4 weeks, last 4 games, because he didn't play week 18, but certainly think that is a good one. Okay, so let's go Saquon, 100 plus rushing yards for the Eagles and Niners. For Chargers and Patriots, Drake May rushing?
Sure. I'm in.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that a good ooh or a ooh?
No, I like.
Stay away, Brady.
No, I like that. I like Drake May's legs today. I think he's going to have to use them quite a bit today, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Looking for the prop right now.
I'm seeing alt on Drake May. 40 yards plus 270. 30 yards plus 135.
I like the 30. I like the 30. Do you like the 40, JLC?
30? Let's just do 30. We can do 30. 30 is cool.
We don't need to get crazy. All right.
Man.
We saved the crazy for you, Brandon.
Yeah, we did.
All right. I see how you guys. Yeah. Okay.
30 plus rushing yards. All right. Now we have one more.
How about Ramondre Stevenson over 60? I think they can run against this Chargers defense, and I mean he's 3.5 to 1 for over 60.
I bet.
Fine.
I bet.
My arm.
Yeah, that's
bet. 60 plus rushing yards.
Nah, I don't hate. I mean, whatever. Go for it, man.
That brings us
we're
to.
Going to do one leg from all 3 games today. That gives us 2 legs in the Chargers-Pats game. But I'm fine with it because this is our big money one.
Well, if we just go with if we don't love that, because that would bring us to 28 to 1. But if I'm taking one from Bills and Jags, I am probably going. Josh Allen, or I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence, 3+ touchdowns, it's plus 425, 30 to 1. Yeah.
You think this is an under game, and you got everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brandon, we can't be going unders and then 3+ passing touchdowns.
We didn't go with the under, though.
But I'm just saying, I'm
kind of like the over.
I'm wondering about your process.
I'm just looking at if we're trying to get crazy and we're trying to put and if Trevor Lawrence is going to do the thing. I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence in his last 4 games has hit this number, has hit 3 or more passing touchdowns 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility with Trevor Lawrence, and it's not like this Buffalo defense.
What about throw for 2 and run for 1?
What
about throw for 2 and run for 1 then? What about that? Now you want to get paid. Now again, it's or you want to lose. You want to lose spectacularly, but
get you about the same spot as it would be
touchdowns
for
in 3 of his last 4 games. If we want to go that route, and that's like almost 2 to 1 by itself. At least it was when I took it.
Yeah, that would get you to 35 to 1. If you did the 3+ touchdowns, you're at 34 to 1. So it's almost the same price. But you two passing and one rush.
It's your call. It's your leg.
Hey, I'm good with whatever. I'm playing it either way. Whatever you guys decide, I'm hitting it and I'm playing this.
I mean, let's be bold. 3 passing touchdowns. What did you say? That's what you want?
3 passing touchdowns would get you to 33-1.
All right, Brandon. If this thing fails, that's on you and the 3+ passing touchdowns.
What if the 3+ passing touchdowns is the only leg that hits?
Then that's on us. Then you get all the flowers. All right. So correct me if I'm wrong here. We have Saquon Barkley, 100+ rushing yards. We have Drake May, 30+ rushing yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 60+. And Trevor Lawrence, 3+ passing touchdowns. What does that bring us to, Brandon?
30 plus 3305.
3305. Gotta love that. That's a nice number. To recap our same game parlay, our SGP, Bills and Jags. We have Jags money line. Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 passing touchdowns, so not getting quite as aggressive. And then Josh Allen over 39.5 rushing yards. And remember, attach your no game sweat token to a qualifying playoff bet, and you get a bonus bet back if you don't win. So you can attach that to either any of these parlays that we just cooked up, any plays that you have in your pocket that you like, but obviously take advantage of a no sweat token and get your stake back if it loses. All right. On the other side, we wrap up the show with our best bets. We'll tell you exactly where we are putting our money as Wild Card Weekend continues here on BetMGM Game Day. Jason Lockenfora, Kate Constable. We'll be back right here on Westwood One Sports.
BetMGM Game Day, your weekend sports authority. Westwood One Sports. The bets, the breakdowns, the big games. BetMGM Game Day continues on Westwood One Sports.
We're wrapping things up here on BetMGM Game Day as we get you set for the remaining 4 wild card games. We have 3 this afternoon, 1 on Monday night. And we need to tell you exactly where we are putting our money in those games. But first, tomorrow, just a reminder, the new Odyssey and Westwood One lineup continues on. You have a number of phenomenal shows. The Drake Toll Show starting things off in the morning, followed by You Better You Bet with Nick Costos, Black and Abdallah in the afternoon, the Jim Rome Show, and BetMGM tonight with Brad Evans and Pat Boyle and our producer, Brandon Combs. And then Westwood One Sports tonight, wrapping things up overnights. All right, Jason, you start us off with your favorite bets for Wild Card Weekend. The remaining games go sides, totals, props, parlays, whatever you got. Throw it all out.
I'm gonna go by game. Is that cool? I'll just go through the game.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And we will go in chronological order of kickoff.
All right, sweet.
So Buffalo at Jacksonville. Give me Jags on the money line. Give me Josh Allen to throw an interception. Brenton Strange, long reception of 20 yards or more. And I like a Trevor Lawrence anytime rushing touchdown in that ball game. San Francisco, Philadelphia, we're on the under. We're on Eagles money line plus Saquon Barkley, 80 or more rushing yards. We're on Saquon Barkley, 100 or more rushing yards. We're on Brock Purdy, 20 or more rushing yards. Charges at the Patriots. We like the Charges on the money line. We like Justin Herbert long rush over 12.5. It's probably at 13.5 now. We like Justin Herbert over 30 or more rushing yards. We like Drake May 30 or more rushing yards plus an under that we took up to 50.5. We also like the straight up under at 46 on that game. And then Monday Night Football. We like Houston laying 3, if you can still get it out there. We like Houston on the money line. We like Fairbairn and Boswell each to have 2 field goals made in this game, parlayed together. We like both teams to have a field goal of 33 yards or more. We like Gainwell, 5 receptions and 30 yards. We like Nico Collins to have a reception of 30 yards or more in that football game.
Plenty of plays for this afternoon. Jason is locked in. I will give you mine in.
And Tigra and Bunny, they like the cars that go boom, in case you were wondering.
What does that
Bunny,
mean?
and they like the boom. Oh, just Google it. It'll change your life.
Tigra,
you never heard that song? We like the cars that go boom. Oh my God, it's a banger.
No, cannot say that I've ever heard that one, but I will.
I
will look it up, Jason. I'm one of those people who doesn't really know music, like song names and stuff. But if I heard the song, I probably will know what it is. And apparently, Max said it was a TikTok song back in 2020 or what?
Miami banger from like the 80s.
Which means
maybe it was early 90s. I don't know.
All right. Well, I will listen to it as soon as we're off air
cars
here.
That go boom. There was a lot of likes going around, so it got the wheel spinning.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna go with where are we? Jags. I'm gonna go Jags money line as well. I like them to win today. I'm gonna go ETN over 65.5 rushing yards, and I'm gonna go Josh Allen over his rushing prop. Got that at 35.5, but that's ticked all the way up to about 39.5. I still think that is fine. We've also talked about laddering that one up. I like that one as well. 49ers and Eagles. I'm going to go Barkley over his rushing prop, 80 yards. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts longest rush over 12.5 yards. Did you say that one, Jason? You threw that out.
I'm sorry, who?
No. Jalen Hurts. Is that on your card?
I'm on. You know what? I didn't mention it here, but I like Hurts under attempts, passing attempts.
Under attempts. Okay. Somewhat correlated. And the total of that one, 44.5. I lean towards the under in that one, but no play there. Texans and Steelers. I do like the under. That is something I will be betting in that game, even though it's already very low. And I'm going to go Kenneth Gainwell over his receiving yards, 29.5 in that one. So at least a side, a total, or a prop in all of those games for me. Those three. I don't really have a whole lot that I love in Chargers and Patriots. I do like Drake May over his rushing total. So, I mean, I like the quarterbacks apparently today to use their legs quite a bit, over 24.5 rushing yards. May has hit in 3 of his last 4 games. So going over his rushing prop today, the only bet that I will have in Chargers and Patriots. But I have heard a lot of sharp people, including Jason himself, on the Chargers this afternoon, whether it's on the money line or getting the points at 3.5. Jason, I know we can't really have much look ahead for this week. Is there anything to point to? I feel like that's kind of tough for us to be looking ahead to next week's lines when we don't know who's going to be playing.
We don't know all the matchups yet. We think the Eagles are going to hold serve, right? So if the Eagles hold serve, you can look at the NFC a little bit more because we had 2 NFC games yesterday, obviously, right? So in my head, I'm kind of trying to figure out where they're going to price these games. So I think the Rams will be the lowest seed remaining, right? So I'm thinking Rams are going back to Seattle where they just were a few weeks ago. And then we would be looking at the Eagles and the Bears. I'll be on the over. I will think the Rams can win that game, but I'm already holding tickets for the Rams, you know what I mean, to go to the Super Bowl. So I don't know how inclined I'm going to be to get into a side there. I think it'll be an over game again. I will be on Rams tight ends. I think McVay will go back to 12 and 13. I like the way Parkinson's looking. Obviously, yesterday, Higbee didn't feature much in that game, but Higbee got showed off against Arizona. Everybody knows he's back. I'll be on those guys. I think Stafford will do what he does unless we find out more about this hand, which is throw for 3 touchdowns and throw for 275 yards. I think Darnold will get his against the Rams defense. That's suspect. And then that Eagles-Bears would be a really interesting rematch. I think the Bears will probably be favorite now. I think a lot of the public and the money will be inclined to like the Bears. And I think I'll be on the Eagles in that matchup, hypothetically.
I don't disagree that I think a lot of the public money will be on Chicago in that matchup, regardless of who the Bears play next. With the buzz in the city, that would not surprise me whatsoever. 2 minutes left, Jason. Football, the other football bets.
Yes.
What are we looking at?
That Bundesliga is back from the Christmas break, Kate. We
Let's
did
go.
very well on Wanna Bet. On the first match on Friday, we were all over that Eintracht Frankfurt Borussia Dortmund match. We're back on Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, when they started the season, had wins at home of 6-0, 5-0, 4-0 at Allianz Arena. Why do I bring that up? Because they've had 3 weeks off for the Christmas break. Everybody's healthy. Alphonso Davies got folded in, right? Coming back from the injury. People around here might know him from Canada. Plays for the Canadian national team. They got him back in the fold. Kimmich is healthy again. Leonard Cole maybe coming off the bench. I think they score goals. I think they scored goals at home against Wolfsburg today. So you play the Asian market -2. Make sure you're playing the Asian market where you push on -2. If it looks like it's a leg that can be added to a same game parlay, then you're probably just in an alt line, which means if Bayern win by 2, you lose the bet. So Bayern -2 in the Asian markets. I think they beat Wolfsburg by 3 or more goals today. I kind of like Luis Diaz for an anytime goal. But I do like that. I also like Detroit Mercy to cover the 7.5 today against Cleveland State. Cleveland State's a really bad college basketball team.
All right. I'm jumping on a plane right after this, Jason. I'm flying to Minnesota. I'm going to the Spurs Wolves games tonight to celebrate my mom's birthday. I'm going Wolves -2.5. against Wemby and company. Wolves coming off a loss yesterday. Spurs coming off a big win against Boston. We're going to fade the Spurs here and take Minnesota as the home favorite. That is going to do it for us on BetMGM Game Day. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you hit some wild card bets today for Max, Grant, Brandon behind the scenes. Appreciate you all. He is Jason Lockenfora. I am Kate Constable. You better you bet. Countdown to kickoff is next with Nick Costos right here on Westwood One Sports.
This is BetMGM Game Day on Westwood One Sports.